subscribers this year, so if you aren't already subscribed, please do consider it, as it will let me know you want to see more of this series. So please, sit back, relax, enjoy the attempt of surviving 100 days stuck on a Minecraft island. Day 1 started like any other Minecraft Let's Play. I said goodbye to Ryan and started punching the hell out of some trees. We had a really big world to work with, and I wanted to get started as soon as possible. After I finished taking my anger out on some trees, I headed uphill, and to my surprise, I actually found a bonus chest. The loot wouldn't be useful in the long run, but whilst I got set up, this stuff was exactly what I needed. After grabbing myself some basic tools and cooking some food, I saw in chat that Turtle collected diamonds. So I asked for his coordinates so we could hopefully find some loot together, and after finally remembering how to read them, I dug straight down, and that was the end of day 1. Day 2 and 3 were what I like to call grind days of the season. Day 2 started off with us missing what looked like a meeting, but we didn't care at the time. After a little searching around the cave, I managed to get myself quite a lot of iron ore, and managed to find and soon mine my first and second set of diamonds. After a slight encounter with a creeper, I realized that I should use the iron that I got myself this episode to make myself some armor, because without it, there's no way this video gets to 10 minutes. Day 3 was pretty much more of the same, but on this day, I learned to always watch your back. After dropping into a lower part of a cave, I angered an enderman and managed to get in the worst possible situation, alone against the Minecraft mob with half a heart while stuck in a corner. My heart was racing. After that near-death experience, I decided it was probably a good idea to head up to the surface. Not only that, but the day was almost over, and I really wanted to get something made before day 5. So after mining one more diamond, I thought it was time to head up. And that took us to the end of day 3. Day 4 started with me finally being back in the mix with my friends. I instantly ran to the center of the island to see what was going on, and in my absence, was informed that the not important meeting was actually for people to claim land. And with that, I found my first to-be neighbor, Jacio. I instantly wanted to be his friend, because I wasn't sure I'd have many in the upcoming episodes. So we spoke for a little while, and then after, I went to go find the others. I ran for what felt like hours, finding other people's bases and trying to find routes of my own. But upon finding Ryan and Emil's land, was told that Emil needed saving, so myself and Ryan became a power couple to get rid of this enderman. After that was dealt with, a guy mined underneath Ryan's land, which Ryan wasn't really too happy about. Ironically, this almost resulted in the first death of the island. I swear this was so funny to watch. After that situation, I was determined to get as far from that side of the island as possible. So I ran to the other side of the island and found myself a nice little spot that eventually would be called home. So I did what any Minecraft player does. I grabbed whatever wood I had and started to create something wonderful. I realized I needed to hide all of my valuables, so at the very end of the day, I created a secret chest and I hid what I had underground. I trusted nobody on the server at this point. Day 5, 6, and 7 were slow ones. I started day 5 by removing my previous build. I really wasn't feeling like it could become something great. I spent the next few days working on this beauty of a house. I call her Charlotte, and she is mine. This is really the peak of my building ability, so I was proud of what I'd done. Day 8 was definitely the saddest so far. I started today by venturing around what was actually becoming a very nicely built island. But soon after, disaster struck right in front of my eyes. I had witnessed the first casualty of the server, with the player dying to a creeper. So I did what any respectable Minecraft player would do. I looted his house and then ran for my life back to safety. Day 8 ended with me stealing more stuff from other players. I'm really not a I started off day 9 by expanding my house. I decided to make a fishing dock that would connect my house to the ocean just outside, something that I could use for food later on. All seemed quiet today while I was mining obsidian for my enchant table, until unfortunately Emil decided he wanted to go swimming in lava, which actually took us down another player. Days 10, 11, and 12 were where everything started to go downhill for myself. We started day 10 by having a funeral for our fallen members of the island, and also making some pretty good puns on their signs in the process. Day 11 is where things started to get really bad for me. I looked outside my house to see what was probably the ugliest house ever built in Minecraft, and it was owned by Jack. So instead of asking him to move it, I did what I do best and I burnt it to the ground. Unfortunately, Ryan noticed, and after some incredible acting to try save myself, I was left out of a meeting that was probably going to get me kicked off the island at some point. Day 12 came around, and I finally got karma for the accidental fire that I set off. Ryan and the rest of the island came to me in Fatal and said if I didn't give Jack the fishing rod that I had in my enchant table, we were pretty much dead. After some arguing between us, I finally handed it over. I had no tricks left. They had me cornered, and I started to feel really bad about the whole accidental fire. Day 13 and 14 were easy enough. Myself and Fatal spent day 13 getting the enchant table back that we'd had stolen from us. We had the diamonds, we had the books, we just needed to be able to find more obsidian. Before that though, we needed a farm, so that's exactly what I started work on. Day 14 honestly flew by. We had our obsidian, and we also had a nice little secret room that we could put our enchant table in, which later on would hopefully look amazing. I spent day 14 finishing the outline for the farm. It really wasn't much for now, but it was home. I felt a little mischievous on day 15. I went into Jack's new mountainside house with JD Kelly and was really debating stealing his enchant table back. I mean, sure, we had our own, but I really wanted revenge for burning down a house that no one was using or lived in. But I decided against it. I probably wasn't a good idea and spent my day focusing on bookshelves for our enchant table. Day 16 and 17 were quite grindy. I spent the entire 2 days really just working on making this house a home. I also really wanted a chicken farm, not just for the XP, but hopefully for the mass amount of food it will get me later. Really, not much else happened, but I felt like you'd miss part of the story if I didn't include these days. I spent the whole of day 18 just trying to get full diamond armor. If I wanted to be able to survive this series, this was definitely a key thing that I needed. I actually got very lucky and mined a vein of 20 diamonds. My luck definitely seems to be turning. Now that I had diamond armor, day 19 was all about enchanting. I spent most of the day in my brand new enchant room making sure all of my gear was fully enchanted. I needed anything just to give me that higher percentage of survival. Day 20 and also 21 were another sad set of days. After bartering for 2 cows from a nearby neighbor, I led them back to my new farm area. But then, we were hit with disaster. Mob EXE had died to a creeper. We all gathered around for day 21 so we could mourn as a group, to say goodbye to another member of the island. I actually came into day 22 with a really good idea. I wanted to make sure that everything was looking as good as possible, so this ugly enchanting room was getting a makeover. So I got the materials that I needed, and I started work. Starting day 23, I wanted to be able to grow just a little bit more.